Is Wednesday, September. Where did that come from? Look at these bags under my ass. That's where it came from. March 26th. And we have not done a Wednesday at the shop, I think, in at least 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. So I felt bad, and I thought that what we should try to do. Ooh, I've already seen a mess I have to clean. What we should try to do is something that I have not done in a very long time for Wednesday live from the comic shop. This episode of live from the comic shop, I am going to do my best to stay on. I've even got my little stand set up to stay online through customers and really, instead of just quickly glancing over what the comics are about, get into a little bit what's going on. Hey, Mark, just announcing that I'm trying to do a longer live stream for New Comic Book Day than I've done in a long time, like a real hangout at the comic shop, kind of schmooze, talk about things. I just had a few customers doing that. I really wanted to get the comic stream started right off the bat at like noon, 12:05, but UPS came in and I figured, oh, let's unload all these new books. Not a lot of new books. I had a bunch of deliveries that are late, and those late deliveries are still coming. I had thought that they were going to come today, so they're not. They're coming tomorrow. So we don't have our Image, which has a huge week. Image, really amazing Image books coming out. Another Image books. Our Diamond delivery shipped last night, but it won't be here until tomorrow. That has the new Vampirella #1, a whole bunch of stuff coming out from other publishers, which again we'll look at next week. But when I saw the boxes, I went, oh. And in the box is probably the most exciting book of the season, of this time of year. I actually already got a few spare copies of it, but let me show you what we have, because I wanted to remember to take one home anyway. This comes out next Tuesday. Cartoonist Club, the new Raina Telgemeier book, next Tuesday, April 1st, which, by the way, is when we start our sale. We are having a big sale starting April 1st through April 4th, a big clearance sale to make a lot of room here in the shop. Why are we making a lot of room? Because the signs that we ordered from overseas are finally shipping, should be here in a couple weeks, and we want to clear out stock to make a lot more stuff face forward. We have, if you're just joining us and you don't know this, besides it being New Comic Book Day, just last week we wrapped up the giant rearrange in our whole store. Our whole store from January 1st until basically March 18th was in flux, being moved. Oh, here's Andy. Being rearranged. And we just finished that up. Hey, was that a trade-in? Trade-in? Yeah, all right. Sorry, I'm doing the live stream. Just don't walk behind me if you don't want to be in it. Oh, that's so funny. I just reordered that. It's it's a cooking one. So we have a lot of those. Oh boy. You only have like one or two things. You have more coming on the Image delivery that I'm getting tomorrow. Okay. Are you getting Bitter Root still? You got a couple issues of it way back.
I'll get that.
Yeah, they moved to the 60s.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. So that's like my biggest order. Everything that one that came out last week, Assorted Crisis Events. I got one shelf copy, and the delivery came on Friday. Someone came in and said, "Oh, do you have that?" And I said, "Oh, here."
Are you
so
live
didn't even.
streaming?
Yeah, I'm live streaming. No, here's the thing.
Hi,
the book
everybody.
looks great.
Yeah.
The book looks great. The way I'm getting Image, it's so backwards. So I'm getting it through another store and all this stuff that I just like.
Yeah.
I just was like, look, I'll get the trade.
Yeah.
Power Fantasy, I haven't done a reorder for my Image stuff until after I'm doing a clearance sale next week. So after that, I'm doing reorders. I'll get a bunch of the Power Fantasy trade.
Yeah.
But like, the short crisis looks great. But the things that I have the most subscribers on, I have 15 people subscribed to those.
Yeah.
Well,
the new bitter root was really cool.
Yeah, the bitter root looks great. That's not that one I ordered a bunch of. Let's see what I have. Oh, yeah, I have one that I don't actually know if you'll buy. But yeah, you've got, two that I'm not sure of. We got an Ultra Mega,
Yeah,
and then this is Andrew Cronky.
we'll take
Good
that
one,
too.
Rick. And then this is it's a Jane Harrington cover, but it's John Romita Jr. and it's just a big
Why not?
crossover. It's it's
Okay.
this fun crossover thing.
Sounds good.
All right, yeah. I just brought some stuff into that. So there's a lot of new stuff in the back as well. All right, I showed you the comics. We'll show the live stream some of the new comics. All right, let's see what we've got up on the shelf. It is a huge week for comics. This, Our Brilliant Rune, Horror at Crane Mansion, is based on the Our Brilliant Rune horror mobile game, and art by Christopher Mitten. If you don't know Christopher Mitten, he has done all sorts of exceptional horror comics with horror writers, and he just does woods and creepy beasts so well that this is a great one. Pooluminati, the Deadpool Illuminati of the multiverse, get their own book. Peacemaker presents another humor Peacemaker book, similar to the show, but not actually the same reality as the show. The Harley Quinn Fartacular, which, according to one of my customers, created a massive, divisive moment on the DC Comic Discord. DC Comic Discord banned of this comic book a couple days ago. People are not allowed to talk about this or make fart jokes about DC Comics. Godzilla vs. Fantastic Four, which we'll get back to, but we got a lot of great covers on that one. Number one of Doom Division, that's the Agents of Atlas in the new World Under Doom. We also have the reprint of One World Under Doom number one, which is great because last week number two came out. Deadpool vs. Wolverine Slash 'em Up. This is a really fun web comic that they did, very action centric. We see our friend Annie did the digital comic specialist work, the layout work, but it was really just crazy action driven Deadpool and Wolverine stuff. I should probably get more copies. See if Annie wants it. We've got, of course, Batman 158, the return of Hush, the return of Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee doing Batman. We will talk about that as well, more in depth. Absolute Martian Manhunter number one. If I do the live stream the way I have planned, where I'm going to stay on it for a while, we will spend more time talking about this book as well. Fantastic Four 30, the second issue in Fantastic Four's One World Under Doom. We still have some copies of One World Under Doom number two, so you can get the reprint of one and number two back. The Ultimate Spider-Man 15, the Absolute Wonder Woman number 6. I will, again, Ultimate, Doom, Absolute, all that stuff, all the major event books I want to talk about more. We've got Weapon X-Men number 2. We've got second issues of these two Doom-centric books, Doom Academy and Thunderbolt's Doom Strike. Then we've got Amazing Spider-Man 70, the end of the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man run. We've got Black Canary, Best of the Best, number 5. Death of Cooper, number 3. Deviant, number 9. Final issue of the Deviant. Harley, 49? I can't remember the number on this. 49. Incredible Hulk, 23. Infinity Watch, which you can tell is a delayed book by having this not being in tune with the other themed covers. Justice League Unlimited, number 5. Laura Kinney Wolverine, number 4. Metamorpho, number 4. Beautiful Tyler Boss cover on that one. Great Steve Lieber art on the inside. Rogue in the Savage Land, number 4. Number 3. Snot Girl, number 19. Star Wars Fear of the Jedi, number 2. Superman 24. This is the beginning of a brand new Superman storyline. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Naruto, number 3. Uncanny X-Men, number 12. Wonder Woman, number 19. Wolverine Revenge, which was supposed to come out in like late December or January. Finally done. And Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, number 4. Woof. And that is not to mention all these other books that have come out in just the last few weeks that are up here on the shelf. There are loads of single issues, and yet another reason we are doing the clearance sale next week. Andy, you weren't here last week, right?
I was not. I was out of town.
All right, excellent. Well, not excellent, but we got the new mouse guard that I just blanked on his name. Lock and Key. is doing the art. Oh, I just blanked. What's his name? I know his last name, but I don't know his first. Oh, and our music stopped again. It's a very interesting thing about our current music setup that this keeps happening. I think my Wi-Fi is not strong enough for it. Let's see. What else did Andy miss that was last week? I don't think much that would grab him, but it's worth checking. Oh, that Hello Darkness that I think you got the first 2 issues of at Becky Cloonan. They did a collection of those issues. So a lot of great artists in that. That came out last week. Second issue that Jamal Campbell Zatanna. I know you looked at the first, but again, I know you're. I told people I thought it was great because the storyline is just so Silver Age, like just yeah. Oh, they're doing a show. Oh, a witch ghost in the show is there, and they're stealing someone. Great. Who cares? Just is the art pretty? Yeah, the art's really pretty. And this started. That's also really great art out of Italy. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that you might have that you'd actually be interested in that you missed from last week. I don't know. But yeah, one of the things that I wanted to stay on and talk about is the fact that multiple people. Oh, well, there's the phone. So we'll see. To be continued. There we go. Escape Pod Comics. The 4th issue of that series. I don't know if I have it in stock, but we could order it if we don't. Because I know the whole series is over. Yeah, I only got the first 2 issues of that time in stock, but I could order you the 4th. Well, the easiest thing for you to do would be to go to our web system and order it there, because then you'll get notified and emailed and all that. But if we do it over the phone, I would just have you, in both cases, you're just pre-ordering. You only pay for it cover price when it arrives. If you want to do it over the phone, I would just take down the number you just called me from and text you when it's here. All right, it'll probably be a week and a half to 2.5 weeks just because it's got to get from a warehouse and all this stuff, but shouldn't be an issue. All right, I will text you when we get it. No problem. But, see, and this is where I get concerned about doing the live stream, because now I have to go online and order this and put this guy's information down. I don't know if that makes for much of a live stream, but you know what? We have not done a all-out at the comic shop live stream for a very, very long time, and I'd really like to keep it going. Let's see, this was picked up. Here we are. So let's check this guy's number. I won't say it out loud. I recognize the name. I recognize the voice. I just have no idea what the person's face would look like until they walk in the door. I don't remember things that well. And then while we're here, we're also going to look for a book that someone tried to get yesterday that was not in their system yet. Let's see if they have it in the system. Multiverses is one of those books that I thought was really interesting because it's clearly just a corporate thing. Warner Brothers is making a game that has all their characters, including the DC Comics characters. So obviously they should make a comic about it. And it's really fun and cute. It's got Batman interrogating Bugs Bunny. It's an insane little book, but what just happened is probably what happened all over is people bought the first issue or 2 thinking it's a cute thing, but they're not regular comic buyers. Just last week, I actually canceled out 2 accounts of people who got into comics because of Ultimate Spider-Man and the Absolute lines, and they just didn't come and pick up their stuff for months because they're not in the habit of doing it. One of them, the one with Ultimate Spider-Man, she was pretty good for a while, and then just fell off of it. So I want to make sure that I can order this book, and I can. And now let's look for Last Halloween variant cover for 6. Yes, Conrad can get that one. Excellent. He'll be very happy. He loves that cover. He's been getting all the what are they called? Mugshot ones, and that means I can put a copy, which means we have Batman Last Halloween number 6 out for the shelf as well. Let's just break down for this guy. Multiverses number 4. All right. So what I think is really interesting currently about this
and those Deadpool one shots. Right, there was a Wolverine Deadpool one shot, and there was a Pool Minotti one shot, and a couple. Marvel puts out a one shot basically every week now. Is that to me is the much healthier market for getting new readers than the Absolute and the Ultimate line. Because the Absolute and the Ultimate line require you to come back to the store month after month. I had 3 people last week ask me about Batman #6 because they saw on some website that it was out that week. And I said, yeah, because those websites didn't update their information. That was the original solicit date, but everything's been moved back. And they went, oh, and these are people who have hold lists or people who just walked in off the street and maybe just grabbed their comic anywhere. They're not like uninformed. They had a date. It's just the wrong date. It changes all the time. I have people come in every Sunday and ask, you don't have Absolute Batman #1? And sometimes I'm like, yes, we have the 5th printing. We have the 4th printing. But very often I'm going, nope, sorry, we don't have that. Because there's just that much coming out. Again, I had wanted to look at more new release books, but these are the ones we looked at yesterday. The same one, Girl Who Flew Away, Jujutsu Kaisen, One Piece 108, There's No Time Like the Present by Paul Rainey, I Ate the Whole World. Actually, this one's new. It's not really a comic book, but it's an art of book. We got The Art of Amphibia just came in. And then Reversal, new edition of Winter Soldier, new printing of The Beta Ray Bill by Daniel Warren Johnson, and The Domain. This, as much as last week we had 16 books, the week before that we had 21 books, this is a manageable thing where we know who our customer base is. Well, hopefully we do. We know what we sell, and we can get a few copies. But when you translate that over into this, I said it'd be a little bit of a store tour. When you translate that over into the single issues, it just becomes absurd. Here are single issues that we've taken a shot on. These, thank God, are all one-offs. That's why they're here. I don't mind getting extra. Actually, no. A few of these are the first books in the series, but the vast majority of them are one-shots. But look, this whole row down here. These are all #1s, things that we just got left with a copy or two. But a copy or two of all these books adds up. The DC bundles, thank God DC does these big bundles, so we could get extra. But again, Superman we just showed you Superman 24. This is Superman from 5 months ago, and I'm sitting on, let's count, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 of a 25 bundle that I got are still here. So, as I've already said numerous times, we're doing a big clearance sale next Tuesday through Friday. I hope to sell a lot of those at a discounted price, but it still won't clear every single issue we got to take a chance or to give people hope to get something on the shelf. And that is one of the major issues inherent in the single issue market, is that stores have to be careful. Even when you've got Ultimate Spider-Man and Absolute Wonder Woman, you have to check your issue numbers. Absolute Wonder Woman, I literally ordered the same amount of 5 that I ordered of 4, that I ordered of, well, no, 3 I got a bundle. 3 was my last bundle. And 3 I've got a few left. 4 I've got 3 left. But then 5, I've only got 1 left. A bunch of extra copies went. So I ordered the same amount of 6, but this 6 could be the point where it ends. 6 is the start of a new storyline. Ultimate Spider-Man, same amount I always order. There's 3 copies of 14 left from the same number, but 13, this is someone who had a hold list and never picked up their books. I have an 8, I think, now in there for the same reason. It went all the way back to 8. There's so many things that's true about. That brings us to this discussion. Just like I was talking about the ongoing books having attrition. We'll get to Absolute in a second. There's also new release books. This is probably the most hype book this week. This is probably the book that you, if you vaguely pay attention to superhero comics, was aware was coming out soon. And it's just a Batman comic. It's just issue 158 of Batman. It's a new storyline that claims to be a sequel to Hush. The problem is Hush the character has shown up numerous times since Hush. Hush the character
has been in tons of things. So really, it's just that Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee are coming back and doing a Hush storyline, and the nostalgia factor, the prestige of it is that they did a famous thing called Hush, and now they're doing another thing called Hush. Is that going to sell? Brian Hibbs did a whole post. Brian Hibbs, of course, great retailer we quote all the time from Comics Experience in San Francisco. Brian Hibbs did a whole big post about how he knows he'll sell his copies at his store because he's very careful on how he orders, and he did. He ordered a lot. But he doesn't know if he's going to sell a lot or order a lot of the next issue. Sorry, I'm just plugging this in so we don't run out of power. But more than that, it's not just that will stores sell them? Will these be successful? Will these be successful on a national scale? Will they be successful like Ultimate Spider-Man? Absolute stuff. Will it have that impact that makes people not just come to the shop for one book, but come for the shop for multiple books? And the question is, that's true of every single title. Obviously, the answer is no for most titles. There's nothing to grab people and make them go out of their way to keep coming back for 95% of the stuff coming out. I would love to say that they're just great stories. People love the great stories. It's just not true. There's tons of comics that are great stories that just don't sell that well because comics don't sell that well in single issue format. So when you do this event, when you do this stuff to make something hot and to get it, you also have to deliver something that's going to bring people back. So if you go again, we have a whole video up on YouTube, Wither the Single Issue. Let's see if we can get that. Yeah. We have Wither the Single Issue that you can hear me talk about all of this. Why they do so many variant covers, but variant covers are part of the thing. That's why there are sets of variant covers. Godzilla, which we're leading up to, Godzilla vs. Fantastic Four. I'll show off this beautiful variant of it, which I have up right by the desk, and we have a poster of it up on the wall. Linnell Yu doing the whole Marvel Universe fighting Godzilla. Really, really cool. There's loads of different covers for this. There's this 1 in 100, which I almost never get 100 copies of a comic, and I will tell you why I got 100 copies of this one in a second. There's the 1 in 100 Virgin cover, which is an existing cover that you can get for $4.99, but with nothing on it. Welcome.
Shalom. Menachem, I'm Stuart Gelberg, Sam's father.
Oh, sure.
And we found...
An old gift card?
Yeah.
You want to know how much is on it?
Well, you'll apply it to the account, but
Oh,
yes,
okay,
I want to
sure.
know what's on it, but yes, and apply it to the
Yeah,
account.
I mean, we
please.
just shipped Sam a week ago or two, so I don't know how much we have, but I'll check. But first, let's check what's on
Yeah,
it.
so if there's a credit on the account,
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's not a problem. Yeah, I can just, I can actually just, this one doesn't have the scanner on it. I can just hold it here, and then the next time I ship to him, do it. I heard he was in and out very quickly.
Yeah.
No, this is an empty card.
Oh, is it?
Yep, balance clear. I can keep it if you want.
Yeah, all right.
All right, excellent. What else?
Yeah, he came down for his mother's birthday
Right.
late on, after work
Sure.
on a Thursday, and he was gone in 2 days.
Yeah. He told me. He said, I think I'm gonna be around, so don't ship my stuff yet. And so then I said, are you around? He goes, I was gone. Ship my stuff. So I shipped it to him last week. But
Okay.
I think he'll probably want a shipment before Passover because that's assuming the next time he's gonna even be down. But we'll see.
Yeah.
If not, we can wait.
All
All
right,
right.
thanks
Good to
so
see
much.
you. Yeah, no problem. Let's go actually look at the covers because it will help make my point. The Godzilla versus Marvel, I think, and Andy, you can tell me if you agree, if you don't mind. The Godzilla vs. Marvel, I think, is a much smarter move than all the Absolute and Ultimate stuff because they're all one-shots. They're all just a one-shot in a different continuity. There's Fantastic Four in the 60s, Hulk in the 70s, Spider-Man in the 80s with the black costume, and they just announced the two most recent. There's one that has been unannounced, but the two that come closer, the early 2000s New Avengers, Bendis' New Avengers, written by his good friend David Walker. I forgot who's on the art. And then the 2010s is actually I'm impressed.
They have Jason Aaron. They couldn't get Esad Ribic, I think. He's a little busy with this Aliens book he's doing. But they got another like painterly person doing Jason Aaron's Thor fights Godzilla in 2014. And it's just like, yeah.
One shot
shot.
is right.
Yeah.
I've got a short attention span for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I have people who've gone into the Ultimate line and bought 2 or 3 books, and then within 2 or 3 issues, they're down to 1 book. Because they go, yeah, I wasn't feeling this other 2. I just had a guy who said that to my face about a year ago about Black Panther. I just don't feel like anything's happening in it. Say to me, today, I wish I kept up on Black Panther. That seems like the really interesting book. And that's like, it's crazy. If you miss a one shot and it seemed like an interesting book, worst comes to worst, you can get a digital copy and you don't feel so bad but you're not jumping onto 10 issues of a comic that you ignored for a year. And it's just, they're testing out at DC, I think, with the Superman, because Superman has a whole summer of events, but it's like only 2 issues per book. There's a Mark Waid event that's running for 2 months, but it's 2 months across like 5 books, so it's 10 issues. So it's a big event, but it's only for 2 months. And then G. Willow Wilson's writing right before that, 2 issues of Action Comics, and that's it. Like, just get on it, try it out, and then you're done. That is what the superhero book needs more than anything, and especially with the price point the way it is. My big fear for the Godzilla versus Fantastic Four, or for all of these, was that they were going to up the price to $7.99 or $6.99. But right now, it's a 36-page issue for $5. Oh wow! Okay, we got a return question. That's a great question, Presley. We had that Spielberg movie here 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and all that happened was I had some guy who was clearly in crew all the way at the end of the day walk in, look around the shop for about 20 minutes, and go, "You have a really great shop here," and left. That is it. It definitely confused people. I got a phone call from a customer that day asking if we were open because he heard everything in town had been closed because of this movie shoot. There were places that they rented out, used in the town, that they had not announced and told us that they were renting out and using in the town. So it was a little hectic and a little crazy, but overall it went well. It did not have Emily Blunt coming in and buying comic books. It did not have Steven Spielberg walking in and looking at Ray Harryhausen books, unfortunately, which I think we have some really good ones. But yes, what was I saying? Yes, look at these covers. Look how these covers, if you're a comic fan, you may recognize a lot of hot name artists. But what they don't have in common is that none of them, which is this one here, none of them imply that you have to have any other knowledge to read this book. Now, most comic books do that. There's no reason that you would pick up this Superman and go, "Oh, what the heck? How am I even going to read this?" Except that it says 287, Legacy 8, whatever. And that makes you stop. It's issue 2, it's issue 19, it's issue 4. These are all number 1. So there's nothing on there. And then, even in the cover art they've released for every single one of the follow-up one-shots all say number 1, and they're all just different things. There's these that are homage to famous monster covers in Marvel. There's one for each one, and there's one for each one that looks like a ring fight. But there's not a Momoka for every single one. There's not a James Harren for every single one. They're just fun little covers that might get someone to buy the book. And it's exactly the kind of book that's just a fun little book that you can read from any cover. So it really hits on what, to me, doesn't just move the market, because the market does get moved. People do subscribe and get onto new books, but it's a safer bet. It's better for me as a retailer to have something that someone can get 5 years from now, could just pick up and go, "Oh, that's why we have a whole spinner rack," literally, of stuff like that. We've got Armageddon 2001 Annuals, Secret Origins, a Catwoman single issue, Jonah Hex meets Yosemite Sam, an old Green Lantern issue from the 90s. All this stuff is stuff that you can just pick up, and you do not need millions of back issues and Wikipedia page to explain what everything is. And there's less and less of them all the time. Currently, like I said, Marvel is being really forward. They do lots of digital stuff into one-shots.
with popular characters. They do lots of miniseries. With this new Godzilla thing, they're really getting into the direction that I think is going to work best. But I don't know what's going to support that, because here we come to the big discussion of the day. Andy, did you see the thing about, again, you don't have to answer, but did you see the thing about Diamond? Diamond was purchased. Their bankruptcy auction happened yesterday. So those who don't know, oh, sorry, that's, yeah, I restocked one copy, and it's holding up it's being held up by all the trades of that are no longer in print. Only thing that's still in print is the Uber Alls. So Diamond did their bankruptcy auction yesterday, and basically every single thing that was up for auction, which was everything that makes up Diamond, was purchased by one company, Alliance Entertainment, who are a publicly traded company that, what was I told? Publicly traded company that focuses on small business, vinyl, statue, and apparel sales. They do pop culture stuff. One of my fellow retailers has a account with them. It's where he gets all his records from. But they are not in any way a publisher. They don't have any of their own line of stuff. They just are a distributor. So they're grabbing Diamond, one would assume, to make a foray into all of that. They get Alliance Gaming, which already matches their name, and Diamond Comic Distribution. What they're going to do with it, we have, I assume, months until anything happens. Right? Months until... I asked someone at Diamond. I got a letter from Diamond, which, by the way, this is one of those things that I probably shouldn't say publicly, but it was hilarious to me. Diamond sent me my comics 2 weeks ago without a price tag on them, without a COD label. And when they came, I went, whoa, what do I do with this? And I just waited. I assumed that my next invoice, my next bill, would be double. It would have extra on the bill. They would go invoice whatever that was unpaid. No, they sent me a letter yesterday. I got an email. Can you mail us a check, please? We forgot to put the COD sticker on. And it's like, what? Seriously? So just put it in my next bill. I've got a COD coming tomorrow that was generated last night. They couldn't have gone in there and just put it on there? Nope, I got to mail them a separate one. Anyway, that's where Diamond's at. They're a mess. So corporate overlords buying them and then hopefully keeping the distribution going. Will Image come back? Will Mad Cave come back? I don't know. I don't know if these people are even going to put the effort to make them come back. When Brian Hibbs wrote his 300th Tilting and Windmills, which he wrote yesterday, which was published yesterday, he wrote about how Diamond is unsure and it's being decided on that day. It's like, yeah, but it's not being decided. It's still unsure because they're just bought by a company. We don't know what they're gonna keep doing. And that's where so much of comics is. I assume that when Lunar grabbed Image, the Lunar distribution grabbed Image, they locked them into something where they can't just run back to Diamond because Diamond is still doing business. I assume they're exclusive or something. But I don't know. And that's true of so many things. I just have no idea of what is the behind the scenes actual movement when it comes to distribution, when it comes to publishing. I have my independent rep who reps about 10 different companies that we order comics from, is at the Abrams sales conference. Now, Abrams has 3 comic book lines and about 4 subsidiaries that make comic books. And he told me that just the kids' non-licensed, kids' original stuff, just the kids' original stuff from Abrams, every month I will have multiple books to choose from if I want to stock it. That's too much. Marvel, DC are putting out 20 or 30 books every month in trade paperback. And it's like, and I'm like, you're telling me like that's a good thing? It's so much coming out. Speaking of, it's printed, it's on its way, it's your book.
Oh yeah. It's not printed yet, but I'm still waiting to get 2 of the covers colored.
Got it. Is
But
Bill coloring
hoping-
everything?
No. No. Bill's just doing these 2 covers.
Oh, he didn't do everything, but he's doing these 2.
Yeah, Michelle Manson did the interior.
I know she did the interior.
Yeah,
I just didn't know how many
covers.
other covers you
Yeah,
had.
yeah. But hopefully, we're hoping to get it shipped out at the end of April. Hopefully.
I just dealt with my guy making the signs.
he's explaining to me the shipping from China, and he's giving the whole rundown of.
Yeah, I'm likely to get it done domestically.
Yeah, well, yeah, I would definitely recommend it, especially if you're now. This isn't a business thing with this guy because he just sourced me this stuff and I'm paying directly its cost. I'm not. There's no profits or anything, so he's able to do that. But he was very funny because he's trying to ship out. He also does those frames, and he's like, "I'm shipping you a bunch for display purposes and my first consignment, but like, he doesn't know how he's going to ship it." Yeah, of course he knows that. Like $36.93. Sorry, I'll give you the total. You have plenty of credit since you
we'll
last.
figure it out.
I did start bringing things from my home. Like I just put a bunch of kids and stuff there. I'm just trying to clear space there.
Keep my eyes out.
Yeah, there'll be plenty. All right, and big sale next week. It's not going to affect you much because it's all stuff that was already on sale last year. But big sale, I'm just clearancing out for before the signs come so I can have more face out.
The store looks great.
I know, but I can't order more new things. I get these tiny little restocks, and it's.
Oh wait, there's another one. That Shangri-la Frontier.
Yeah.
I love the first one.
Right? Isn't that a fun book?
It's really good.
I am.
I don't even
so
like video games. And
No,
I
I'm not a
felt
video
invest-
game.
I felt-
I'm not a
I
video
felt
game guy.
invested in it somehow.
Well, that's what I think, because I think it's such a relatable thing of like you can tap where it's he's not a video game fanatic. He just wants to figure it out. It's just the puzzle solving aspect of it.
That's really good.
I when I moved that central and I started going, oh, we don't have the One Piece you want. You should read Shangri-La Frontier. I got more and more confident in just how it's one of the best books for just a good time. It never gets heavy.
It was a blast. I enjoyed it.
You'll like this story. I always tell the story about
I
it.
wasn't expecting to feel invested in it, but I did.
Yeah, I'll tell you. 15 has a moment. You read Summon of the Gods.
No.
You didn't read it? Yeah. So it's Taniguchi. It's 6 volumes, and in volume 6, the guy who climbs Everest, his big thing is that he never goes. He never goes a route someone's gone before.
Okay.
And he almost dies. Someone rescues him. He's in there. They're summiting for a few days during a snowstorm to get better. And he goes, well, we're almost at the top, so when I'm done, I'm going to go. He's like, you're going to go? He's like, yeah, I'm going to take the Southern Pass. And this guy just almost died, and the person who rescued him goes, oh, you're taking the Southern Pass? Which has already been done.
Yeah.
And you read it, and you're like your stomach drops.
Yeah.
You're like, did you just say that to him? Did you just tell him? Did you just remind him that someone's already done that? Like, oh my God. There's a little moment in Shangri-La Frontier, in volume 15, where someone's just like, oh, you don't want to win? They say to Sunrock, to the main guy, you're not here to win? And you're just like, and it's really good writing. The thing that I think makes it work the best, though, is that I've been telling this story a lot lately. Originally, it was short stories. That's why there's the little written short stories in the back.
Okay.
They're new ones, but originally it was online as little short stories. And they asked the person, can you do a manga of this?
Yeah.
And she went, I can't. So what I mean is, I didn't design any of these worlds. I didn't do any. I mentioned this giant mecha game, and I mentioned this fighting game. I didn't describe what anyone looks like in Shangri-La Frontier. I can't do that. And they went, right, we'll get an artist. They go, you're going to have to get a freaking game designer. And they went, okay. So they hired someone whose background is in game design, and they brought in like the real video game element where like every time you're in the game, you feel like, oh, I see what this
Did
big
they make
bag.
a video game of this?
They can't, because again, you'll see as it goes on, they abandon a lot of like the getting into the lore. No, it's.
I would say the battle scenes are it's probably some of the best like fight choreography and battle.
Agreed. People tell me they love Berserk fight scenes, and I'm like, really? You can read Shangri-La Frontier fight scenes?
The choreography is incredible.
Yeah, and it's always.
Yeah, it's what. No offense to James Heron or DWJ, it's kind of what they would.
It's what they want to be.
They would want to draw like this. You know?
They're not working in an environment that lets them draw like that.
Yeah.
They're
They could do. They're doing their own books. They could do whatever they want.
They can't though. It's got to be 36 pages. If you dedicate 15 pages to a fight scene in a 36-page comic book.
True. Yeah.
So for Heron, he can do it in Ultra Mega, but then it better be bloody and violent.
Yeah.
It has to have big stakes because it's the set piece fight scene. Whereas this, you have anywhere from 15 to 30 pages. I'm sorry, anywhere from 30 to 45 pages for a chapter.
Yeah. The skill is incredible.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. The studio that's working in it,
is just otherworldly.
the physics of the space You're gonna get to stuff where he's gonna do in volume 4 or 5, where the video game complicated stuff that he explains beforehand, you're reading, going, what? Why do? And then they make it in the art while he's doing it. You go, oh, that's so brilliant, because it's gamified. It's I'll show it off.
I didn't know about the cover. I thought.
The cover is so silly.
Looks stupid, but.
But I love that silly plot point,
Yeah,
because
it
makes him into a comic book character, not a person.
But don't judge the book by its cover. I think.
I definitely hear that. I'll try and show off some of the good stuff.
All right.
Oh yeah, here's that first fight scene with the. Yeah. I'll see you. Thanks. Hey. No, it really is. This is definitely shonen wise my number one recommendation. Yeah, the internet, myself, it's the same thing. That's all Lorena's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, one's for the library. You got hardcover, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it here.
Is there cardboard that we can put out front?
There's two of these are our stands.
No, I'm saying cardboard to throw out. Are they picking up cardboard today?
No, that was yesterday. Cardboard. Right?
Oh, okay.
Today, why?
There's also not there.
Oh, the wedding dress place. They do. Yeah, they do tons. I do have a couple boxes. Maybe I'll put out. Anyway, Shangri-La Frontier for Stupid Shonen, Witch Hat Atelier for Ghibli-esque feels, and that's really what we're pushing in manga right now. People have things they like themselves. The weirdest thing about having a comic shop, especially a comic shop that focuses on things is that I could have a Wednesday that is slammed from just my regular customers, this being their every third Wednesday or every other Wednesday that they come in and get stuff. It could be slammed because some hot book was under ordered locally, so I just get random people coming in for that one book. Or it could just be, it's nice outside and people come into town. But we never get, as I was talking about earlier, the clubhouse vibe heavily. We have maybe 3 people at a time talking about the new comics, but most of the people coming in on a Wednesday are not only looking for the new comics, which is not typical for a comic shop. A comic shop on a Wednesday, at least, and it's true, at least half the people who come through here on a Wednesday are here for their new stuff, but they're also, like Andy was just in, he hasn't been here for a couple weeks, so he grabbed a bunch of other issues that he didn't get. They're not Wednesday warriors who are posting up here. We used to have that. We had a few people who really made it a thing, and never all of them at once. We had a few people who made it a thing to be here Wednesday and to spend some time dedicated. But most of my Wednesday customers are coming after work or at lunchtime to just grab their books because they know we hold their books. Okay, we discussed Marvel and the single issue Genius. We are now going to discuss what I think is one of the most precariously placed things going on in comics right now, which is the DC Absolute line. So the DC Absolute line was not included in my Wither the single issue. It had not come out yet. So if you go watch that video we did Wither the single issue, talking about variant covers, all the things that sell modern comic books, and how Ultimate Spider-Man was changing that a little, just a little, Transformers, by people coming in and getting into the series and wanting the issues and then reprinting those first issues over and over and over. The current Absolute line is the exact same thing. Absolute Batman came out, Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman, they were very much hyped. New universe, new place to start, exactly like Ultimates was, and people got invested, people came and grabbed them. Like I said, I had a customer who got issue 2, 3, and 4 subscribed for me, never picked them up. But then I just put them back on the shelves. We just entered, last week, phase 2. So this is the very, very tricky part of any kind of line within a line. If you're DC Comics and you're Marvel Comics and you have a new continuity thing, Ultimates, current Ultimate Universe, older Ultimate Universe, DC had Dark Label for a while, which were a different way of saying Elseworlds and Vertigos, and it's always an issue of not what you're putting out face forward, the best stuff. Scott Snyder returns to Batman. Jason Aaron does a totally new take on Superman. Hayden Sherman's art, Absolute Wonder Woman. These are like, now you have, okay, these are successful. Now this stuff has to have been in the can. These other books only came out about 7 months ago. You can't make a comic in 2 months.
on a professional level. You can once it's rolling, but you can't just start it up. You can't sit with the editors, figure out how you're going to redo a character. So it's very clear that once the first couple of issues, maybe one issue of Absolute Wonder Woman, which was the third one to come out, maybe a couple issues in, they had to start work on this Absolute Flash, which came out last week, and Absolute Martian Manhunter, which came out this week. And in doing so, they revealed a lot about the Absolute line, because these books are more disparate, are farther from each other than anything in the Absolute line has been. Neither of them are particularly far from the other three books. The other three books sort of fill them in. This is like a darker superhero book. So you have this, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, this. They are that distant because this is a psychological, formalistic experiment in a character being completely remade with a darker, modern take. Those who are not familiar with John Jones' The Martian Manhunter, in comic book form, you can probably read a great view on who he is. If you read New Frontier, in televised form, I would not recommend the version they had on Supergirl. Fun as that actor is, I would recommend the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited TV show. That is a great version of Martian Manhunter. Martian Manhunter is always a character with whom his human identity as Martian Manhunter is always a thing, that he has a pretend human life, but he's really a Martian. The Flash is a character who has been done to death so many different ways in so many different versions. He's had a couple of TV shows. This version of Flash, again, if you want me to say in one issue who it's most like, Flash on the Justice League cartoon was Wally West. You didn't really know much about his life. He didn't have much going on. This is a young Wally West book, but this is a superhero book. It starts with somebody, I have powers, what's going on? And then it goes back, shows you all how funky and cool his powers are, and then it jumps to 2 days ago. What happened days ago? How did we get here? And gives you his problems in his life, his good things in his life. He gets the powers. He now has powers. People are looking for him because he has powers. It's a teen superhero book all on. This one is a book where Detective John Jones is having weird visions and feels strange, and you know he's a Martian, but he doesn't. Ideologically, completely different book. Why? Why are these two, like I said, basically the polar opposites of what they've been doing in Absolute? Classic superhero with a dark tone, weird, dark psychological book that maybe has some superheroics in it. Because they don't know, when they do a line like this, why people are buying what they're buying. People can write letters, people can go on the internet, people can say, we love this, this, and this. But the comic's not over. The people are reacting to 2 or 3 issues. They have to throw a dart at this character. What are we going to do? Are we going to go crazy psychological with the Flash? Or are we going to go more action-adventure? Now, since the Flash has an entire army of fans who came from a recent TV show, they're probably going to stick to a more realistic setting for the Flash, which is not surprising. Martian Manhunter, in general, people love a Martian Manhunter run where his alienness is heavily at the core of it, so they went with Denise Camp, who's literally writing a book in the Ultimate Universe right now. If you're really going to go with the theory that Absolute was made for DC to just copy and have an Ultimate line, that would support it. They're literally stealing a writer over from that line. But more than that, it shows you that at the core of all of this stuff, whenever any of these decisions are made, it is about markets. It is about grabbing up markets. It is about making sure that there's some sort of fan who is not being served or who is being served but could spend more to buy. So there are people who love that Peacemaker show who do buy comics occasionally. Peacemaker fans, though, who love the character, none of them ask me for this. You can always sell something with Harley Quinn, and you can always sell something with farts. So that's your one shot. Godzilla. Godzilla is huge. I can go on and on about how this is such a brilliant move, because each of the one-shots are, like I said, at a specific time with specific versions of the characters. So fans of those characters might just buy that one shot. The Doom event, you have probably the best writer at Marvel right now, Ryan North, making a thoughtful event that affects your whole universe. Is it going to bring tons of people in? No, but I have a guy who told me he does not buy crossovers. He does not want crossovers. Read one issue of the Doom crossover event and go, you know what? Can you get me that number one? I want to read that. So it's definitely helpful. The absolute line is that there's a Green Lantern coming out next week that is the third piece. It is whatever they think. I was told by a customer that his understanding and what he heard about it in reviews, because I try not to read these comics too far in advance, is that it's cosmic horror. So we will see what it's like, but it's definitely trying to slot into place where the absolute line has been successful, and I wish them a lot of luck. We've really covered everything that I had really wanted to discuss. I wanted to discuss the Godzilla one-shots. I wanted to show off the new books. I want to discuss what was going on in Diamond, which is basically we're still in wait and see. And that's it. So if anyone has any questions, if anyone has a subject they'd like to see discussed, I'm going to give it a minute or two. We're going to clean up the stuff Andy bought and make it a little bit nicer over here. We're going to clean that up, and if anyone doesn't have a question for me or anything they'd like to see discussed, I have plenty of work that I'm going to get to. This is probably the longest live stream I have done in months. So I hope those of you who are regular watchers enjoy and don't feel upset that I really overdid it. I apologize if I did. Oh, good. I got room here. I'm going to put... What should I put here? I guess I could put the Doom books up here. No, I'm just going to put... No. You know what? I'm going to wait until I get off, because I think that I need to think about this a little bit, about the layout of the store for how we want to push that. But thank you for coming. If you saw any of the books that you're interested in, we ship all over the country. Please remember that we have a big clearance sale. Next Tuesday, I'll be doing a live stream showing off what's in the clearance sale, and things can be ordered directly from there, as well as posting it online. And until tomorrow, when we will tackle a major topic in comic knowledge or history, I hope, if I have the energy. Remember, damn it, babies, you gotta be kind.